I'm going to introduce Chris from Aurea Solutions to say a few words about Aurea Solutions.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this has been a great program to sponsor. I think it's very on brand for me, right? Experts are everywhere, and it's good to have everybody having access to all the expertise they need, especially these days. So yeah, I focus on the IT side of things. So I do IT support for small to mid-sized businesses, and just provide a single point of contact for solving all your problems. These days, most people are not running with a full IT resource, so they tend to have a patchwork of a bunch of different people who do things for them. So I'm trying to help compress that all down, so you only have one person you need to call, who understands both your side and also how to talk to the people on the other side. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, you can always pick my brain.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chris. And Chris, before I put you into the attendee section, if you don't mind putting your contact information into the chat, so anybody who wants to reach out to you can do so accordingly. So we'll get started with the screen share. All right, so step one for getting into the Member Information Center is logging in. So at the top of every single page on the Dover Chamber website is this button here that says login. When you click on that, it will bring you to the login page where you'll put in your username and password. So like I said, if you don't have your username yet, just put a little message into the chat and Cam will get you set up accordingly. I am going to show, we're going to be working on a fake account that I created for today's program. It's Melissa's Marvelous Membership. So as you can see, Melissa's Marvelous Membership doesn't have anything going for her right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to log in. And as you can see here, we are brought to the home page of the Member Information Center. So whenever you're trying to do something on the public-facing website, which this is the public-facing website, in order for you to update, you have to be in the Member Information Center. And a great way to know if you're in the Member Information Center versus the Chamber website page is the little icons at the top of your browsers. Chamber Master, which is the one that hosts the Member Information Center, is purple. So whenever you see the purple instead of green, you know that you are in the right place. So the first thing that we need to do is set up our information. As you can see here, Melissa's Marvelous Membership has nothing. When comparing it to the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce, you can see here that we've got our representatives listed, we've got news releases, our information about us, hours, links to our Facebook and our LinkedIn page, as well as a picture of the chamber. So all of this information that you see right now, this comes standard with your membership. This is not an enhanced listing, which we'll talk about towards the end of the program. This is just the general basic package that you get part of your membership. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to make this page look similar, if not the same, to the Dover Chamber page. So step one is updating your personal information. Here you can see that I've got my name. I don't really have a phone number. I have my email down here. I really have very limited information. So what I will do is I'll put in a phone number. And I'll leave the address as Dover. I am the primary contact, which means that whenever the chamber is reaching out to the person, this is the person that on the profile is saying, yes, I'm the one who you want to talk to about Melissa's Marvelous Membership. If I am also the person for billing, I'm going to go ahead and check the billing as well. You can have two different people for primary and billing. It doesn't have to be the same person. And then this button right here, Rep is active. It means exactly that. I work for Melissa's Marvelous Membership. If I had an employee who no longer worked, I could go ahead and uncheck that. we can't do that right now because I'm the only member of this business, but that is what you would do in that situation. So we'll go ahead and save our changes. And I'm gonna jump to the company profile really quickly here. What is nice is that you can copy the information that you have for the organization to each individual profile. So sometimes I recommend starting with the company information first, so that you're not typing the same thing over and over again. All right, so let's see what we've got here so far. All right, so display preferences here. This is how you're going to determine what is on the public website versus the member information website. So first, you're going to want to allow your information to be seen. I'll go ahead and do my full name, my job. I'm going to leave my email off, but I'll keep my work phone number. And that's what I want for the public facing side. For the membership side, I'll allow them to see my email address, my full name, and we'll keep it, and I'll have them have my address information as well. So I'll go ahead and save that. And when you check back on Melissa's Marvelous membership, you can see now that we've got a representative created. So what's important about this is that you want to have the rep contact information on the website for those you want contacted by the public. If you are somebody who is part of the organization and you want the Dover Chamber aware of their membership, then, but you don't want the public knowing about it, then you'd probably want that person off the website. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick pause and do a poll really quickly. So we're going to stop the share so we can do a poll. All right, so now that you've had some time to reach out to Cam, let's see if you've got your information. All right, so the person who said not sure, if you want to just message me, so you just select all panelists, what I'll do is I'll message Cam to make sure that he can check to see if you've got the information you need. All right, it looks like most of you have it. All right. So the one person who said that they're not, oh, it's Margaret. Okay, so Margaret, you're all set. All right, and let's see. All right, so specifically, one of you had said that you'd like to know more about getting the messaging across. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll talk about news releases. News releases are a way for you to promote your business in regards to events you have coming up, successes that you've had, fundraising campaigns that you've had. The news release can really be whatever you want it to be. So I clicked on the homepage here on the left-hand side, you can see the news release section. I go ahead, oh, sorry, I'm not showing my screen. I'm just realizing that. All right, so we're gonna start off at the home here. On the left-hand side, you'll see it says news releases. So when you take a look at news releases, you can see everybody who currently has a news release public in the Member Information Center as well as on the public website. So this is the member information side of the news releases. On the chamber public side of it, you would go to media releases and you can see that the information that is here matches the information that is here. It's just a little bit of a different format. And again, that purple lets you know that you're in the Member Information Center rather than the chamber website. So Melissa's Marvelous membership wants to add a new media release. So we're gonna change the title to say New to Town. She has just started at the chamber. This is one of the benefits that you get for joining the chamber is having a media release created by Cam, our communication specialist, where he writes a beautiful article about you joining the chamber. Oftentimes it will talk about the history of the business or organization, as well as anything that is current coming up for that organization. So if ever you have a big event, whether it be a fundraising situation, a new move to a new location, let us know and we can let you know if a ribbon cutting ceremony would be appropriate. And then you can get a news release written by Cam as well. So I'm not going to type out the media release. I'm just going to write some words so that we can see when it is published what it looks like. The release date is today because we'd like it to go out today. And the system automatically does a 1 month, how long it's on the website for. If you are talking about a program that might be happening in June, so the Cancer 5K is happening in June and they want to start promoting it now, they could write a media release now saying it's coming up and have it go all the way until June. The only thing I would say is I'd recommend to create an updated release throughout from now till June, just so that it doesn't get stale or stagnant on the website, more for your benefit than for ours. The meta description, as it says, it's a summary of the content. So this will be seen in the search engine results or in the little snippets here where it kind of gives you an overview of what's happening. You don't have to put anything in there. Oftentimes the system will just pull what the first sentence is of the media release, but it's up to you on whether or not you want to use that. And then the categories is important because this is how people will find you. So oftentimes I'll do a community for a news release because you're wanting the community to be aware of it. General news article is also one that I typically select, and press release. You can always add an image if you'd like. I'll go ahead and pick something here from the chamber. Let's see. And contact person. So who do you want the public to be contacting after you've done your media release? So you have this drop-down menu where you can select it and it will fill in the information accordingly. I want to make sure that people are just calling, not emailing. So I have deleted my email. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as a draft so that I can show you what you do when you want to go back. Because sometimes when you're working on something, you get a little bit distracted or you don't have time to finish it completely, so you want to save it. So when you come back to work on it, all you have to do is click news releases again. And then this button here that says manage news releases, it's right there. And so you click on it and you can come right back into it, edit it accordingly, and then you can save changes and then submit for approval. So I've got Cam working on the back end of Chamber Master here to update our membership page as we go along, because that's essentially what will happen. The status is now pending because I'm waiting for somebody from the chamber to approve it. What we do when we do that is just take a look at what you've got, make sure that there aren't any glaring typos, make sure that the format transfers correctly. When we get to the event page, you'll see how formatting might be a little bit strange. And just make sure that it looks good. We'll review it and then we'll publish it accordingly. So while we wait for Cam to publish that, I just wanted to do another poll. Let's see how we're doing. All right, so our next poll. Do you have events that you'd want to promote through the chamber website? Fun fact, in 2019, the chamber had 80,000 views to our event page and individual clicks, which meant that the chamber calendar that we have 80,000 people clicked on our event and looked at, or not our event, but the events that we had listed there. That's a huge number of people and clicks going to a program. So if you have an event that you would like to promote, using our event page is huge. You're gonna get the views, and you're going to be able to see how many views you're getting, and I'll show that later when we go into reporting. So it looks like most of you have the need to learn about events. So we'll go ahead and jump into that. I'm going to share the results so you can see. We've got quite a few people who are looking to do events. All right, and I won't forget to share my screen this time. So the events is very similar to the news releases. What you're going to do is you're going to click on this tab right here that says events. And as you can see, we have our events that are listed on the calendar here. If you've got a picture to go with it, it will show up accordingly. If not, it will just clean it up and make it look real professional. You'll also see here the local expert series. You can actually register for Dover Chamber events straight from the Member Information Center. You can also do it from the public facing website here. So you can register this way, but using it through the Member Information Center is also a benefit. Kathy asked, can you do events and press releases for the same event? Absolutely, and we recommend it. The more that you can use the website and get it out there, the more people you'll be attracting. There are some people who come to our website, like Foster's, for example, will come to our website to look at the media releases to see what they can publish for the newspaper. There are others who will come to the calendar to see what's going on for the weekend and see if there's anything local that they can do. In light of COVID, that's not happening as much, but that's definitely, we'll get calls for the Sunflower Festival or for a coat drive or something like that because it was on our website. So definitely when you're putting information up there, please make sure to put as much contact information as you can so people know to call you. Because while we love talking to people and giving them the information that we can, we're working off the same information they have on the website. So just make sure you put as much contact information as you can. And Kim also grabs a lot of events and media releases for our peak of the week that goes out on Thursday, as well as our member newsletter. So please use all of the systems. So we're going to go ahead and create an event. The event title is going to be Learning. It's happening today from 6 till 7 tonight. It is not a reoccurrence, but this is a feature that you can use. And I highly recommend if you do have a reoccurring event, use this. Oftentimes, our members will have a reoccurring event, like Work Ready New Hampshire was one that I think you saw on the calendar. They will put into the description for date and time all of the events that they have coming up. And oftentimes what Cam and I will do when approving the events is we'll go in and we'll make sure that a reoccurrence is set up. And sometimes it's a little bit wonky. You know, if you are having a weekly event that is happening on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're actually going to want to select daily so that you can say, you know, it's actually going to happen every other day. And again, when you put the details into the time, we'll be able to delete anything that's repetitive. So if you've got a wonky reoccurrence situation, just put all the details in the date and time and we'll clean it up on our end of things to make sure that it runs smoothly. So I'm just going to put in a couple of words here so that we can see how it shows on the website when it's public. All right, and so we have display on public events calendar, which is the calendar here that I referenced earlier. Again, categories are huge. So any category that you think fits, go ahead and put it in there. One thing that I want to note is that unless it's a chamber event, we're not going to have this selected. The reason for that being is that you can see the chamber events are highlighted a different color. And the reason why we do that is so that people will find our events a little bit easier. So for example, the Seacoast Score, we're gonna have to go in and uncheck that chamber because this is not a chamber program. But the Tri-Chamber, the afternoon networking, these are all programs that we're putting on as a chamber. So when you're filling it out, please make sure not to check that unless it's a chamber event. And then again, we'll just put a quick picture in there. And I'll do a different picture so you can see how it formats. Let's see, we'll do this one. And a couple of gallery photos. And the more photos you have, the better. Chamber Master has actually shifted their layouts to be more visually appealing. So the photos are popping up a lot more than they used to. So if you have the images, definitely use them. And it can be anything. It can be previous event pictures. It can be logos, whatever you want it to be. As long as it's a JPEG format, it will work. And then videos as well. It doesn't look like I have a video saved here from the chamber, so I'll just do youtube.com. But you can put a YouTube video in there as well, although I think we'll need something. So let me just grab something really quickly. Let's see. All right, Apple Harvest Day at home. All right, so again, I'm going to save as draft. I'm going to go back to the main event page so that you can see how you get back into your saved event. Oh, sorry, let me go back. So one of the features, you can actually preview what your event looks like. So here you can see all of the different pictures we put in. You can see where your description information would be. Here's where all of your date and locations. One thing that I would mention is you can see here that the date is repeated twice. This is for those situations where you have multiple dates happening. So this is going to be the day that the event lands on. But this right here will be those details. So if you have something that's reoccurring, that's what this section will be right here. So it looks good to us. So we'll go ahead and submit for approval. So I'll go ahead and click here and submit for approval right at the top. And so let's go back and check on our news release and see if it's been approved yet. And you can see right here, it's been approved. So if you go to manage, you'll see here that it's approved, but back on that main page, you'll see that Cam has already approved it. And I can click on it and it shows, this is what it looks like on the member information side of things. If we want to check it out on the public facing website, media release, you can see our picture, new to town for our title, and then the media information would be in here accordingly. And you can see the tags that we have for our event as well. So there we go, our event is published. So I'm going to take a moment to stop again, check questions, and do another poll. So let's see what I've got for a poll. So have you taken a look at your directory page? If not, take the time now. What you'll do is you'll go to dovernh.org/directory and just check to see if the information you have is up to date. All right. Are weekly church services appropriate to list for recurring events? Absolutely. If it's an event that you are doing, especially as a church, absolutely put that information up there. The calendar is meant to be used for the community. We have had a ton of people moving to this area. And I feel like churches are one of those things that people want more information about. So most definitely, if you have church services that you want shared with the public, go ahead and put that on the website. Will it accept PNG formats? I am not sure to that question. So I would say try it. And then if it doesn't work, just let us know. All right, so for those of you who are saying there's information missing from the page that you'd like to add, go ahead and put into the chat what that information is. And then if there are any changes that you want to make, for those who said no, there are a few changes that could still be made. Again, tell me what those changes are, because I want to make sure that the information I'm providing you all with today is the information that you're looking to get. So I'll take a minute just to check my notes to see if we're missing anything and read updated photo. Okay, perfect. Links added for LinkedIn and Facebook. Okay, perfect. We'll start there because those are both kind of in the same realm. So we'll jump back into the Member Information Center here. So as you'll see, we're at the homepage. The personal information is where you're going to want to add that information for your photo, for your profiles for LinkedIn and Facebook. So let's see. Photo. So here's where you're going to want to add the photo. I really like this photo of Tuckaway Tree Farm's giant donkey. He is an oversized donkey, and I think that is a very fitting photo to use today. So we'll go ahead and save. So that's now my photo. Groups and interests. So there are no groups currently that the chamber has public for you to join into. These groups are anything from our ambassador committee, our board, our sweeps committee. We have a number of different groups here at the chamber, but typically what we do is if you're interested in joining something, you email one of the staff members and we let you know the dates and times and whatnot. We don't have that public just because we want to make sure that there's a conversation had before you jump into the program. So this one you can kind of ignore for now. If that changes in the future, we'll definitely let you know. And then social networks, this is where you would go ahead and put in your networks. So I am going to try and pull one of my networks. All right, so gonna go ahead and put it in. When you verify the URL, I'm not signed into LinkedIn, but it just wants to make sure that it works. So you can go ahead and click that to verify. And then for pages, let's get the Dover Chamber page. All right, and then verify URL. And there you go, Dover Chamber page. So we're gonna go ahead and save these changes and let's check in and see what we've got public here. So we can see the photo's been added, the news release has been added, but the social networks aren't there. So that means that there's a setting in our display preferences that has it so that they're not being seen. What we'll go ahead and do is check the social networks so that those are now being seen, and refresh. And now you can see that LinkedIn has been pulled in. I wonder why Facebook hasn't. Oh, because it didn't save. Oops. So what's nice about this is that you can check in real time what it is that you're working on. So when we put in the Facebook, I didn't click save. I verified URL, but I never hit save. So now that our Facebook is in there, I've saved changes. I'm going to go check my membership page again. And you can see now that Facebook and LinkedIn have been added. This is for my own personal representative page. I could have a different set of LinkedIn and Facebook for my Melissa's Marvelous membership page. So I'll go ahead and go to the company information, and let's see, is it under? So here you can add those links again. So I'll add the Facebook page, and I'll leave the LinkedIn blank for now. And when you see here, oops, display preferences. All right, so we are going to, oh, sorry, I forgot to check the box. So you want to make sure that you check the box for what you want seen on the main website. When I hit refresh now, you can see that Facebook has been added. So does that answer the questions for the social media? Okay, so if you want to remove something like a fax number, what you want to do is find where it is on your member information center. So for me, I now have my organization information saved as the same as my personal. So it's going to be copying over back and forth. And then so let's see where that populates so that we can remove it. So here's the fax information. If I want to remove that, I'm just going to go ahead and delete under the organization information, save changes, and then it should remove accordingly. If it's still not working, send me an email, and after this, I'll dive deep into your profile and see how we can change it. All right, so let's stop the share again, do another poll. I'm running low on my poll questions. So do you have a LinkedIn account? We just talked about adding it, just wanted to see how many of you are looking to connect that, and it looks like so far most of you do. So it's a great way to have that LinkedIn profile and a public facing web page on the Chamber website to get more activity there. All right, so we're about halfway through, or we've got about 20 minutes left. Is there anything that you are looking, now that you've have a little bit more of a better understanding of the Member Information Center, is there anything else that you want shown how to do? I'm gonna go into reporting next about how you can see the activity that's happening on your news releases and your event pages and your promotional materials, but I just wanted to check in one more time and see if there's anything else that's needling you that you'd like to learn how to do. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in again. One of the things, we'll go ahead and look at reports first. So when you want to see the reports for your Chamber membership page, you're going to go ahead and click on this button up here that says reports. So we've been, this profile page has been live for 30 minutes. And in those 30 minutes, we've had 10 views to the member page. Most of that has been us checking our work, but as you can see, it records the information that's happening. So it will show you when it's been in a mobile search, which that wasn't us, so that must have been one of you guys. When it's been shown on the member page, and all of this information is available to you through the Member Information Center. So I'm going to jump in really quickly to the Dover Chamber page to show you a more established account so that you have a better idea of what that reporting looks like. So you can see here the Chamber page, and I believe this is, yeah, last 12 months. So in the past year, we've had 427 views for our Chamber membership page. That's not talking about the Chamber website as a whole. Those numbers are much higher, and Cam would be happy to talk to anybody who wants that information. But this is just the membership page and anything that's connected to the membership page. So when you go to Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce, all of these news releases, all of these representative pages, those are the ones that this report is monitoring. So in the past, we've had hot deals listed from April to July. We had some hot deals on the website, and though this is showing you what people were looking at, when they were looking at it, and how much interaction you were having with it. So we had 44 clicks to our hot deals page during that time. Whenever the Chamber comes up in a search, again, it's all listed here. So this is a great way to kind of track what it is that you are putting out there and see what kind of feedback you're getting. Member page views, again, is another great way to understand how people are getting to your page. So the way that you get to the reporting, someone had asked, so that's why I'm repeating it, is right here where it says reports. You're just going to click on that, and then any of the numbers that are blue, you can click on to get more information from. In addition, you've got additional things here that, again, you can click on and it will pull you to the same thing. So what's nice about Chamber Master is that it has multiple ways to get to the same information. So whatever works best for you. I tend to click on whatever's blue, but you can go to, you know, this sidebar as well that has a little bit more information. All right, so that's reports. One of the things that helps people get to your page is your category and your keywords. So for the categories for the Dover Chamber, we have nonprofits listed as our category. If we go back to the Melissa's Marvelous membership, you can see here that there are no categories listed. So I'm not going to come up in very many searches when going to the directory. But if I type in nonprofits, the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce is coming up on this page because that is one of our categories. So depending on what your business is, you want to make sure that you're covering as many categories as you can. When you click on it, it will give you all of the categories that we have listed. And if you have a category that's not popping up that you think should be popping up, let me know. Chef Mike, for example, he was in the catering category for a very long time. And he said, you know, I'm not really a caterer, I'm a personal chef. And that wasn't an option at the time. So he said, is there any way for you to put in personal chef or personal training or private chef? And we were able to put it in accordingly. So now it shows up as private chef. And that's his specific category. So if someone were to come to the membership page and type in private chef, it will pull him up in his own category. So if there's a category that's lacking on your page, just let me know, and we can put it in accordingly. Again, categories and keywords are huge. The other place for the keywords, I believe, is under your organization information. Let me just double check. No, keywords are actually under website information. So we have Chamber of Commerce, networking, business programming. Those are all keywords that we use. So when you come in here and you put, what was one of them? Apple Harvest Day. If you search Apple Harvest Day here, Earth's Harvest Kitchen for Harvest and Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce come up. And then it takes you right to the page. So they're huge. Those keywords and categories are huge in getting people to come to your page. And all of those searches are recorded in the reports, so that you have a better idea of what is drawing people to your membership page.